When working in the main menu, click this button to start a new meal record. Alternatively, if you are already working in the main form, click this button. Designate this as a meal record. We'll make this breakfast. This time I'll type in a better name than the generic name. Then I'll use the Enter key. I'm going to tab over twice to the ingredient ID field and enter EGG to find eggs. I had large eggs enter key thar, and I had 2 of them for breakfast. Enter tab, down potato, and it was a baked potato already. And I had about 4 ounces of that guy. And I also had some sausage, and we'll choose this one. So I'll just open the drop-down and pick 1.5, tab over a couple times. I also had a piece of bread, some butter, and some coffee. 4 mugs. This is a very common breakfast that I eat. I'm going to go ahead and create an ingredient out of this breakfast, so I'll click this button. And we now have a food item ingredient that is a single serving of this entire breakfast. We'll close this. Another way to enter a new meal is to use an ingredient that represents the entire meal. So we'll start a new meal. And we'll make this a meal record. This will be breakfast. I'll leave the generic name alone this time, and I'll click in the ingredients field, and I'll look for egg. And I believe the one I'm looking for is this one here. It was the ingredient we just made note by the date. And with a single click of the mouse, I've now entered an entire meal's worth of ingredients. And the single serving value is the same as it was on that meal. And that meal's the previous record, so we'll go back there and you can see they're all the same. You can do meal planning with CookBookPlus. To proceed, create a new meal record. We'll make this a breakfast. Note that when you first create the record, that the name field indicates that it was the selected meal type, in this case breakfast, on the date specified in the date field up here, which was the current date. To change this record to reflect a meal in the future, click in the date field. Open the calendar and pick a future date. For this example, we'll pick a date in the next month, June the 15th. Click it, and then use the Enter key to leave the field. When you did that, note that the date up here changed to reflect the future date, as did the date in the meal name. At this point, you can go ahead and enter the ingredients you propose to have on the breakfast on the 15th. This capability could be very useful if you work for like a school district and in the cafeteria and you need to plan future meals.